find the key for someone else to find. To see the world alone. If only I could see the world alone. 'Cause I'm going up in flames. I'm leaving for the sky. 'Cause I'm going up in flames. A fracture in the night. The night. A fracture in 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 the night. I'm up in flames tonight. I'm going up in flames. I'm leaving for the sky. 'Cause I'm going up in flames. A fracture in the night.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another fun-filled episode of RaceDayTV, the live show. I'm Mark. That's Ben.
What's up?
John.
Nephew John.
Mike.
Uncle Mike.
What up?
What's going on, guys? Busy week.
Yeah.
10 days.
Yep.
For
I
some
saw.
of us.
Yeah, I saw more of.
10 days for you, 4 days for me.
That was enough, though. You were,
eight-
you were missing Sterling. You were ready to come home.
Yeah,
I had eight,
That's the good
eight for
dad in
me.
ya.
I saw more of John on Racing America this weekend than the person who won the race. What's going on with that?
Yeah, I didn't really.
What?
Yeah.
John was all over Racing America this
Really?
weekend.
No.
Oh, Flow
yeah,
Racing.
Flow
Sorry.
Racing.
I see
Yeah.
Racing America.
I was in the way of the camera. No, I was.
You were being a fanboy. All week long, you were being a fanboy.
That's exactly what I went down there to do.
You did. You had a good time.
And I had a great time. Yeah, no, I wanted to get some good footage because Ben's new idea wants to start a YouTube channel. So I went down there to grab some footage, and I was playing around with my camera. And we're at the start by the stage, and I walked up, and there's all these photographers, and then there's 50 sheriffs out there. And I walked up by the stage, and one photographer left, and I kind of walked up to this cop, and I'm like, hey, I take it if I don't go past you right here, then I'm good. And he looks at me, and he goes, are you talking to me? I'm like, yeah.
He really didn't have a clue.
No,
so
and he's
that's-
like, I don't care. And I was like, okay. So I just stood right there, and I got some pretty
got
good
some cool-
shots.
yeah.
I was right in the mix.
And you got all kinds of stuff you can't show, too.
Yes, yeah, I got a lot of
cool
stuff
shit.
I
A lot of cool
can't
shit.
show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mentioned a lot of things, and Ben goes, that on his chest is recording. And I was like, oh, got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was sitting on I had my tablet out. I was at the abandoned mall of Indianapolis, the one in downtown that apparently you get stabbed at if you're there after 4 o'clock. And I'm sitting there watching, and I was like, that looks like John. I was like, that's cool. And I was like, that is John.
Well, I didn't think, I mean, the guy was on the stage, he had the camera, but I'm thinking he zoomed in enough to not see me. And then my phone started dinging, and people were posting it all over Facebook, tagging me in it. And I was like, I'm just not
You know,
gonna
next time you go there, bring a reflective vest and just pretend
Blend
you're
right
a kid.
in.
Blend right in.
No, because if I had the reflective vest, they would have told me to sit over by the other guys. I was getting way better
You got
shots.
some really cool shots.
Yeah.
I saw the video. So you know, once you get that posted and edited and so forth,
Yeah,
it'll be really cool.
We'll be getting the page together and getting the channel up. I think it'll either be called
Even Ben
Burnouts
was
and
taking
Banter
some
or
video, too.
Burnouts and BS or something.
I like burnouts and BS.
Yeah, we'll go with that. Yeah, Ben was taking video. We were having a good time.
I don't think an idiot. I've got this thing like, look at me. So luckily, John will edit it out.
That's right.
So, first snowball derby. How was it? Recap it for us, as I've never been.
It's different than it's not what you.
It's the event.
Yes, it is. It's the event to go to, and it's
The race is secondary. It's
really it,
It's
yeah.
the event.
it's hard to explain unless you go there, because what you see on TV is just the stage. You know what I mean? When you go there, you get to see the behind the curtain stuff, and it's insane. The entire city or town of Pensacola is
It
involved.
reminds me of the old Super Dirt Week at the fairgrounds at Syracuse. It's just the event. I mean, I'm not going to say the race is secondary, but it's almost secondary. You know, people just party for 5 days, and it's just a fun event. I mean, the race, the guys that are racing, I mean, they just race and practice and practice and practice. To me, which is the dumbest thing in the world, you're just spending thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars.
Yeah, bear in mind, those guys that are going
They
there,
got it. They wouldn't be doing it if they couldn't afford to do it. I mean, but it's just, you know, you have to have that bullet time trial lap. So every time you go out on the racetrack, they're firing 4 stickers on for about 5 laps, and they come in and make adjustments, fire 4 more stickers on. It's
all weekend. Just
Unbelievable.
tire carts everywhere, fresh sticker tires, guys walking around. And you just look around, you're like, that's money every single time. You know what I mean? And just set after set after set. And it must suck go down there and do all that and then wreck out first lap like a couple of those guys did. But hey, that's racing, man. That's racing.
That's all part of it. Or be one of the guys that loads up and goes home.
Yeah. Yep.
That's.
Harmon says cold. It was cold.
I mean, that's just like I tell the Granite State guys from time to time. We have enough. We'll have cars that some guys have to go home, and I tell them all every single time. Even our Pier Stock cars at Claremont or Super Streets, if we have that night where we have enough,
you got to earn your right to race.
Sometimes you just got to earn your right to race. It sucks to load up and go home, but simple solution: go home and work on your shit, and make it better.
When I was younger, it was a victory just to make it into the feature.
Absolutely.
They would send. I remember the old street stocks. They would send 10 to 15 of those at home a night.
Yep. You know, we've, you know, I'm not getting off on a soapbox, but we've lost that in racing over the last 15 years, where you got to earn your right to race. That's
honestly, in my opinion, I think me, because I always start in the back anyway, because I suck.
Usually finish there too. Yeah.
Or he drives into the wall by himself or something.
Hey,
But that's
whatever. But you know what? Like I said, I think to me, even if let's just say that's just my opinion, even if you don't make it on the first, on the what do you call it?
Time trials
or whatever. To me, it's just a thing. Okay, so like you said, screw it. We'll just go work on the car better. And then when you do finally get to that, you're like, okay,
you feel that
feels
much
10 times
better. Absolutely.
And it re-energizes you to go race and do more shit.
Yeah.
Except for Carlos, he's gay.
Nice. Shots fired. Carlos Grenier in the house here tonight. Didn't want to come on mic, but he drove down. He's going to keep me company. I was like, hey, Carlos. And I hear... I was like, oh, never mind. I'll wake you up when we get into the parking lot.
Now, all in all, John took all kinds of video at the Snowball, and it's not just the race. When you work at a racetrack, you look at things differently. Mm-hmm. You look at all the behind-the-scenes stuff. Like when we were going into the infield on Sunday morning, we rented a pickup truck. We didn't have seats. Well, we had seats in the grandstands, but we didn't use them. So we rented a pickup truck, and we had to be there at 6:30 in the morning to go 3 miles down the road from the racetrack to stage at the fairgrounds down there. And we sat there at the fairgrounds till 8:30 until they got all the haulers out of the infield.
Oh no, it was like 9:30.
9th or whatever it was. And you look at you're looking at the logistics as to what it takes to make that happen. I mean, the sheriff's blocking traffic and doing this and doing that. It's
police escort row by row.
Police escort row by row to get you to get you where you need to be. And Tim Bryant's got it figured out down there.
Yeah.
He's, after doing it for I don't know how long. Tim's done that event, 8 or 10 years, I imagine, anyways.
Well, we learned last year at RPM. They talked about this event. They were one of the people that promoted this thing. Yeah. So to see what actually goes into making this event happen, I was like, wow, I can't even believe.
Yeah,
they planned for this. They've already started next year's planning now.
Yeah, all the staff had next year's shirts on.
Yeah.
They had the 58th Annual Snowball Derby shirts on.
We noticed that, and I was like, wow, that's a mistake. But apparently it wasn't.
No, it's just good advertising.
Mm-hmm.
I heard a story about you.
Okay. Oh, there was a couple.
Where'd you fall asleep? or attempt to fall asleep.
Fall asleep?
Yeah. And did Mike rent a truck and?
No, I didn't fall asleep. No. Oh, I know what you're going at. No.
I don't. Where's he going?
Mike rented a four-door red Chevy pickup truck. Okay.
I know. Okay, I know where he's going now.
It's freezing cold. I don't even remember what night it is, and it's 11:30 at night.
Yeah, we've been there all day.
We gave up. They were
still
like,
running ship boxes.
Yeah, they
or
were like
something.
another half an hour to go until they were going to think about calling the Crown Stocks to staging, and we were out. And yeah, so we're walking out, and I have my GoPro, my camera, my tripod, my backpack, and we get to the truck, and I open up the back door, and I start making camp in the back seat. Got my backpack, my cameras, and I'm like, oh, thank God. I go, it's nice and warm in here. And then it hit me. I'm like, we didn't start the truck to warm it up, and I look up, and a guy is in the front. It wasn't our truck. I'm in the back seat of this guy's truck, and he's in the front on his phone looking at me like I'm an asshole. He's
Yeah,
like,
I open the door of our truck, and I get in, and I start putting my shit in the back seat. I said, where the fuck is John?
so I didn't know what to say to the guy. I just went, it's been a long day. And he's like, okay. And I just left. Earlier that day was even better. We went to an Irish bar, McGuire's Irish Pub, and I had to go to the bathroom. So I go to the bathroom, and as any other person would do, I see the door. It says men's room, and I walk in the men's room, and a woman, non-questionable, walks out of the stall and somewhat screams. And I did too. And then I'm looking, I'm like, there's no urinals in here. I'm like, maybe I go out and I read the sign, and they must think it's hilarious. It says, not the in little writing, and then men's room in giant writing. So I walked right into the woman's room. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's John.
Yeah. All in one day. It was great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What was your favorite part?
Qualifying.
Really?
Yeah.
They make time trials exciting.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't believe that.
No, it's
Absolutely do. And
How?
the place is full.
How?
Just the way they do
Well,
it.
they time trial everything down there.
Yeah.
They don't believe in heat races down south.
The announcers do a phenomenal job building excitement into it. They got the announcer that screams and yells, Augie, Augie, Augie. It just, I mean, it's just
2 by 2. Yeah.
He did that with one of those divisions, and there was literally 6 cars. He was like, 2 by 2 by 2, and he did the whole field.
That's all of them.
I mean, the thing is, I can't explain it. They just build excitement in time trials.
Yep.
And everybody, there's, 8,000 people there, 7,000 people that watch time trials.
Wow. All right, I wonder about
Okay,
that.
and it's not a case where they have, they have some racing. Well, they have the Sportsman or something after that, but
Yeah, sportsmen and maybe outlaws or something
or
like
something
that.
like
Yeah.
that. And then the next day is the snow. It's just, it's crazy. It's fun.
And then the Derby, they open up at 8. They race at 1. It's the Derby. That's the only thing they run.
On Sunday, that's
That's
it. Yeah, it's just the Derby.
nuts.
That's it.
You got guys walking around the front stretch before the race with beer.
Yeah,
It's nuts down there.
it's
Did you get that shot with your camera on the pit wall? Did they let you get out there?
No, I didn't get out there. I
Oh,
wanted to. But
you got out there for Nassie's last stop, right?
yeah, I was on the pit road
Yeah.
for a bunch of the last stops.
Yeah.
Kind of sneaking into place. I mean, there was no gate or rope, so I was just kind of.
Yeah, there's no.
This place stupid.
Yeah,
yeah, absolutely. That's
yeah.
easy to do for me. I mean, that's
Yeah, we know when you do
that's
that at
easy.
Daytona.
Yeah,
Mike's Daytona stupid was awesome though, because
Yeah.
he had that guy so confused. He's just like, I guess you could just own the place now. Like, I go in.
Yeah. Yeah, let me. You guys kind of seem important. Go ahead.
The guy's like, I don't care. I don't have a job after tomorrow anyways. I'm a temp.
Yeah.
That other guy was really, really serious though.
Oh,
that
yeah.
first one.
Yeah, they were like about to get the badges, and some hippie guy comes up like, "I like you. You seem cool."
No, the snowball. Anybody has never been. Take the opportunity
Go.
and go.
Yep.
Yep.
And bring warm clothes.
Oh my God, it was friggin' cold.
Freezing cold.
It seemed like it was fun. On TV, it's a completely different world. From watching it on TV to being there in person, is it track what you expected when you walked in?
Yes and no. The atmosphere is definitely what you expect, but then I don't know. I don't know how to say this. You look around and you kind of realize that it is just another racetrack. You know what I mean?
It's an old racetrack. It's been around for 50 years, and it looks like it's been around for 50 years.
It's got its flaws, just like the racetrack back home. And it kind of makes you feel better because you're like, all right, we got that crack on the wall. You know what I mean? Like or maybe we don't. You know what I mean? But
I mean, they got their one aluminum set of bleachers in turn 1 and 2. You know, that
the rest of it's cinder blocks.
The rest of it's cinder blocks.
Oh, like the Bronson ones?
Yes.
Exactly.
No way.
Yeah,
Those
absolutely.
things are
Exactly what they are.
sketchy looking.
Yeah.
So actually, it's funny you say like we go to events and we look at it completely different. We're about halfway through qualifying, and I look at Mike and I look down and I go, how do you clean underneath these bleachers? They're enclosed.
Oh,
They
you
must have to
don't.
find somebody like Carlos's size and have him go down there, like a Hennessy or something, because there's no way to get in there unless you climb down under the bleachers and pick up all the trash.
They do. They pick it up.
They
I
have
mean,
to,
it's definitely picked up. But
The Hennessy's do that because he did run a cord for me underneath the bleachers at Hudson.
Scott will go under there. He'll kind of like army crawl the whole length of the bleachers, and then go down another one and do the same thing. He does like 5 or 6 times. It's like, holy crap! I don't know how
That's
he does it.
absolutely nuts.
we're
We're watching.
One of the cool things, though, is there was a couple competitors from up here that you have relationships with, and and
Yep.
watching Jimmy race in Snowflake, he ran really, really good.
Yeah, he did.
One best appearing car as well.
Yeah, he got into a skirmish. Unfortunately, they had a. I don't know if they had a mechanical throttle. Wasn't his throttle hanging up?
Yeah, he said it was high idle.
Yeah, so something to do with the throttle. So he had to pit, and unfortunately, that put him back where he shouldn't have been. And he got caught up in somebody else's mess, or else he would have
Stunk
had
too, because he said in his interview, he did I got to give him credit. He did a really good job with his interview of letting people know his displeasure, but not being a jerk.
Well, but on the backside of that, why were you there?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, unfortunately, they had some problems, and that put him in a spot where
a
he
vulnerable
shouldn't have
spot.
been.
Who was that car that basically exploded?
That was Casey Roderick.
Yeah, the 62.
That was one of the most wild things I've seen in a Pro late model.
How far away were you from that?
We were on the front stretch, 2 rows to the right of the flag stand, but great vision. I mean, that car just went straight up in the air and smacked that wall. It was bad.
Yeah, the body was off it before he hit the wall.
Oh, I was watching. I couldn't even believe it when I saw it. That's just out of the blue there.
Hey,
Yeah.
Stuart, you notice that he's just totally ignoring your comment, but that's
Yep.
all right.
Car went into the wall. It was an interesting time.
I'd have thought Ben was driving the fucking thing.
He did pretty much the same thing at Lee.
No, that car disintegrated. That was not good.
Fortunately, I'm sure he was banged up a little bit, but he was okay.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is he set the bar for me to do better.
Yeah, you need to have a ramp. If you're going to do what he did, you're going to have to do a ramp.
I'll
So.
aim right towards the crowd.
He just climbed tire.
Towards the crowd.
What
did I overhear from the other room?
Four.
Okay, what did I overhear out of the room? I heard John saying, get an old flatbed, put the bed down, and let him jump off
Oh,
of it.
yeah. We were
Ramp
thinking about
truck.
the ramp
Yeah.
truck. Because I don't want to ruin my good one. I'll have to find a junk one.
Yours is the cool body style. Those are the ones that I really, really like.
Those are the cheaper ones.
I stayed up and watched that race because I flew out really, really early on Sunday morning and watched that race and sitting there and someone's like, look, piece of the track came out. And I was like, nah, no. And then all of a sudden, red flag for ever.
Yeah. Yeah, and at one point at the end, I don't know if he was kidding or not, but he goes, it looks like they found the piece of pavement that came out and they're hammering it back into the track with a hammer. We're like,
It's a typical old racetrack. It's
coming up.
That realistically needs to be repaved, but they know it's absolutely going to destroy the racing.
Yeah, it'll make it one groove.
If they do it, and the competitors are begging them not to repave the racetrack.
Yeah.
But eventually you're going to have, I mean, you can't have your marquee event that's seen by however many millions of people on flow and in person and so forth, having your racetrack come up during the event.
Sure.
But they said the competitors are absolutely begging them not to repave the surface down there.
I wish I could see the analytics for that race and how many people actually stream that thing. That's
lot.
got to be insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. That's
So-
great for short track racing, though.
Yeah.
Yep.
You'll have your, we've had this conversation 800 million times. You have your core group of people that watch saying that streaming is killing short track racing. That's the farthest thing.
Not true.
That's the farthest thing from the truth. All it's doing is getting more eyes on short track racing, whether they're whatever they are, but it's just putting more eyes on the product.
That streaming is killing short track racing is just another great excuse as to why you're not working harder to promote your track.
Absolutely.
It's just scapegoat. It's streaming. Streaming's ruins it. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So I went to bed after I gave up on that, watching that race on Saturday. I wake up, I think it was like 2:45 in the morning to 3 inches of snow and knowing I had to drive all the way down to Manchester. And I was like, this is great. Flew out of there, landed. I got there early, decided I was going to scooter around town and almost died, which was interesting. And said, I'm going to go to went to the zoo.
How did you almost die on the scooter? No,
right.
Go ahead.
Let's hear it.
That goes back to Mike. Why were you there?
How did you almost die?
Can I make? Let me guess. You had a box of Christmas tree cakes in one hand, and you were trying to eat some Christmas tree cakes, going Little Debbie's
Listen, this is
down
why
the
you
road.
get a backpack. You know how many of those packets of Christmas tree cakes you can stick in a backpack? More than you can carry.
Okay, so no, I wasn't. I use Walmart delivery. I had Walmart delivery drop off Christmas tree cakes.
Listen, I was trying to help you with that because now you sound like you're more fat using that. Okay? You don't say, I just use Walmart delivery. Hold on. Hey, Walmart, give me some Christmas tree cakes. But continue.
I did Walmart delivery twice.
Okay, you're not helping.
No, he had
Not helping.
he had to get the Fruity Pebbles the second time.
That's right.
It's got the word
got
fruit
fruit
in
in
it,
it,
so
yeah.
it must be healthy.
So unless you rent a car in Indy, it's hard to get to grocery stores and stuff. So I had an Airbnb off the.
Ghetto.
Yeah.
No. That was the other one.
Oh, so you booked us in the ghetto and you in the good one.
I didn't book it. I was just along for the ride. It was very good booking, though. It was a phenomenal Airbnb. When you have the big Christmas tree in the middle of town, so if you take a right there, 1 block back. So that's where I was. So decided, I was like, well, we need food. And I didn't realize that there was a Dollar General like on the other side of the building.
Dude, why do you need food? There's every good restaurant in the freaking world in downtown
All right, well,
Indy.
let's skip ahead.
I
Let's
also
skip
wouldn't
ahead for a minute.
classify Dollar General anything they sell as food.
By the way, this Dollar General was as wide as this table and 1,700 feet long.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. All right, let's skip ahead real fast and talk about something that happened our night before last that was there. Why don't we eat out every single night? What happened when we got picked up with the guy in the BMW who almost killed Ben?
No, we didn't almost kill Ben. Ben almost killed the guy's door.
I did not. Okay.
Well, yeah, you did. But anyways,
Listen, no, really?
I love to throw Ben under the bus.
I got Franklin's
That
back.
car was in the other lane. It
close
was
enough.
nowhere. No, it was a full lane away. There was
Close
10 feet
I
from
wouldn't
him.
have stepped
You
out.
almost
No, I didn't.
wrecked that poor
The
gentleman.
poor ride
He
to
was
the
poor
BMW.
Franklin. He was such a nice guy,
I
too.
wasn't even there, so
All
I
right,
don't
so-
know.
All
nice.
right, you tell the story on this
Scrolling
one.
back, I had over the course of the weekend, it's actually Lyft. I've taken probably 22 Lyft rides at this point because after I almost got killed on the scooter, I decided I was lifting the rest of the week. So nobody spoke English, and they got this new trick that they do that says deaf or hard of hearing, except they can talk perfectly
They
fine.
don't speak English. That's the
So
thing.
that's the trick that they do. So I went to the airport and I came back. I did a reverse trip, and the guy was super, super English and normal, and he looked like Jesse Pinkman from Breaking Bad. And then I just happened to say to him, like, hey, I'm curious, what do you do when you get done? Do you drive back to the city? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, cool. And in my head, I'm like, I just paid $42 to drive to the airport. How much would you charge me to go back? And he's like, $10. I'm like, sweet.
Okay.
Hand him $10. I was like, give me 5 minutes and I'll be back. But that was the only one. And then and they're all crap boxes. This one guy picked us up from the zoo.
Do you call the absolute cheapest car on the app?
You have no choice. You just click it and it just sends whoever to you. So we
You must use a different Lyft app than I do.
Yeah, my Lyft app gives you all
It
the
gives you like
options.
5 different options.
Oh, I'm not doing black and stuff like that. No
No,
way.
no,
Stop bitching
there was
about the
like
car
8 of
then.
them.
You
Every
cheap.
single light was on the dash on this one.
Beggars can't be
Yeah,
choosers,
don't
okay?
be
So
so
we're
cheap.
leaving. What is that restaurant that we were at?
Which one?
The one when you almost took the door off the Beamer.
Prime 47?
Or Ruth's
No.
Chris, maybe.
Ruth's Chris
Chris,
Steakhouse.
Yeah, that's right.
And John looks down and went, we got a BMW coming as Mike's got a Toyota Corolla come to pick him up because Mike's hotel's on the other end of town. So this BMW pulls up, and I knew it was trouble as soon as I saw the rhinestone encrusted steering wheel
Oh, that
shining
sounds
on the
special.
lights.
Yeah.
And then across here, and I get stuck in the front seat. Ben decides to open the door, and I'll give him credit. There was nobody there.
There was a guy almost destroyed the car. But anyways.
No.
We sit in.
I think I
and
believe John.
We're blocking a complete lane of traffic, and this guy is not moving. He's like, "Excuse me, and I'm like, "What the going on here?" Do you just open doors in front of traffic? This is my car. What do you do in your car? And this guy starts going off on Ben, and I can see. I'm looking in the mirror.
Hold on. Bear in mind, I'm in a food coma because I ate a shitload of food. I'm not having it. I'm like, okay, I hear you, whatever. He goes, what you mean you hear me? I'm like, oh
He
my
goes,
God. I'm
no,
like,
no,
you
no,
really
Ben,
gonna
you
fight me on this?
No, he goes, do you hear me or do you understand? And that's what he said to you, and you're like, I heard you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if you don't say you understand, he's not putting this thing in
I'm
drive.
like, okay, I get it. And then, dude, for the first 5 minutes, this guy's going on about, you gotta look where you're going. You're gonna get hit. And I'm saying to myself, there was no one in the other goddamn lane.
I'm really surprised you just didn't throw punch him.
I
we
wanted
to
to
get
go
home.
home. I wanted to get home. I was tired. I was very full from the food, and I'm like, dude, just give me
Is that
the
tonight
fuck
you had?
home.
Oh no, we didn't have dessert that night.
No.
No dessert that night.
I'm
dessert that
like,
night.
just give me the fuck home. And then he started to lighten up
I
a
had my
little bit.
$47
And then-
salad,
and then
though. That was
As
pretty
soon as we
good.
got to the house, I said, hey, man, I apologize. I thought that car was in the other lane, but apparently to you it wasn't.
Yeah, and the guy doubles down. He's like, yeah, you really need to pay attention with other people's stuff, buddy.
And then
Yeah,
before
I walk in.
before Ben opens the door, he's like, make sure you look out your window. And then
Best
we're on a dead end street that's in the middle of the hood.
They thought they were going to die. I gave Franklin a $5 tip for the fucking show. It was great. I was laughing. I was laughing so hard.
I thought Franklin was going to come back and kill me.
I was laughing so hard in the back seat because he finally lightens up. He goes, all right, is it warm enough in here? I go, it's perfect. I go, it's great. Yeah, and Mark almost, if this guy wanted to kill us, Mark's the guy that would have gotten us killed because he's asked, no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
He's
you
asking
can't-
questions
Oh, my
about where
God.
we're staying. He's like,
Like, how many bedrooms the
so
Airbnb?
where you staying?
Do
How
you-
many
you know-
people are staying there? Mark's like, us. He's like, how many bedroom? 3, 2 upstairs, 1 downstairs. He's like,
Why don't you just give him the combinations at the same time?
Did you meet the owner? No, we have no idea who they are.
Yeah, the guy's pretty
He
much.
had a good story.
Wow,
No, he didn't even have to stake out the place because you're giving him every goddamn detail of the building.
And
We
then
left in the morning. Who cares?
I say, hey, yeah, there's an exit in the front, exit in the back. There's a stairwell in the basement that goes right up to the second floor.
yeah, if you go in the kitchen, there's like a butcher block with a bunch of knives you could murder me with in my sleep.
So once he lightens up, he looks, he's like, so how is that rich people food?
Yeah, and then we got into this whole fucking thing about Texas Roadhouse and McDonald's between him and Mark.
And Mark was all about the McDonald's, right? Yeah, there's no question. Yeah.
He's like,
Chicken
I
nuggies.
don't make enough money to eat at that Ruth's Chris. How is that place? He goes, I eat Texas Roadhouse. It's probably as good as Ben's. Like, no, the best steak here isn't even closer to the worst steak here.
That was you.
That was all of us.
No, that was
you.
no, all of us. That was
Dude,
you.
me
We
and
weren't
him-
talking to
Me and
him.
him were trying to keep quiet because this guy's gonna come out and kill us.
Ow.
And you're like, yeah, the food you eat sucks.
Best
We're better than you. It's
Best
like, dude,
chicken
what are you
nuggets
doing?
ever.
And then you said your uncle paid for it anyways, so
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uncle Mikey paid for it.
Oh, I did pay that night, didn't I? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the one thing I said, the guy's like, is it good? And I just peep up from the back. I'm like, worth every penny. He's like, you didn't even pay. I'm like, that's what I'm
That's
saying,
why it was
dude.
worth
Yeah.
every
I'm like,
penny.
every cent, yeah.
Oh my God. And PRI was awesome.
It was really good. Yeah. You learn something every time you go.
Yeah.
You know.
The workshops were good. The crate motor thing that you signed us up
That was
for,
really good.
That was very informational on like what they've changed and all that other stuff.
Some of the new stuff coming in.
Some of the new stuff, dude. I'm sorry, but what the hell is that motor?
The CT 525.
Dude, I am in love with that motor.
Yeah, my dreams are coming true with an LS-based crate motor coming out.
Dude, that was
You know,
awesome.
the hard part is it, well, 10 years down the road, will that replace the 604? Possibly.
If it's going to, it will take that kind of a time frame.
The hard part is you can't detune the CT525 enough so it will
but bear
run
in mind-
competitively with the 604. You can detune it. You can detune it through the ignition down to what they say, like 440,
Something like that.
like,
Yeah.
like 440 was about to up to 570.
Yeah.
So
I
there's
thought it was 6.
no, it's 570.
570.
Okay.
Yeah, so you with different cam timing,
Yeah.
you could.
But bear
you
in
can
mind
lock
too,
it.
that's the first crate motor LS they're using in Circle Track.
Yeah, it's an
So-
LS3 5.3 base block.
So here's the thing: if that one goes well, they okay. Well, we need a smaller motor for the smaller divisions. Who knows? They might build something that could do for a 602.
See, the hard part is even if you detuned it, if they were able to detune it and come up with another motor, I mean, we're talking years and years down the road.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's an LS3. You put
Okay.
an LS1 in with that, you could probably that would be like around.
So if
three
you get to the right horsepower, but then you got to battle the steel block to the aluminum block.
Yep.
The weight differences on the motor. I mean, there's way.
I know that, but the thing is that the motors we're using are literally from the 50s.
Oh yeah, or
older
absolutely.
than that. So if this sport wants to get into the modern century, they're gonna have to go with LS.
We were talking with Dominic Lucier,
Yeah.
the guy that owns Autodrome Granby up in Quebec, and he's going to put
Great
that,
track, by the way.
He's going to put that CT525 in their 358 cars as an option.
Yeah.
and that's mostly where they're using that application.
That's
is
exactly
dirt.
where is dirt late models and dirt
And
modifieds.
honestly, I'm not gonna lie. If someone was building an Outlaw, I'd stick one of those motors in it. What?
No,
Yeah, why not? I would.
it has nowhere. That's nowhere near meets the rules package for that
Oh,
class.
come on. It's fine. It's an
It
Outlaw.
would 100% obsolete every other
It's
motor
an
in that
outlaw-
field.
Yeah, it's not the old Outlaws.
It's not the old Hudson
Come
Outlaws.
on.
Come
I mean,
on.
that's what I grew up on, was the
Yeah.
old Hudson Outlaws.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if
I remember
somebody has
watching
one of
you
those
and four other
CT525 in those cars, it would absolutely obsolete every other motor in the field.
It's only going to take one person that knows a tuner to
Yeah,
ruin
if they
that
were to
LS
run a regular
platform.
LS, but not with the
here's the
525.
thing. With this motor,
With this platform and the ignition that's in
the
it,
ignition box is set. Now I know you're saying, "Oh, someone can get it," but here's the thing: they sell a tool that literally plugs right into it.
And the red light, green
And
lights
if
it.
it's red light, green lights it.
Yeah.
If it's been fucked with,
Yeah.
it red lights it. If it's completely bone stock and never been screwed with, it green lights
yeah,
it.
and I don't know if the tech official, somebody has the ability, it'd have to be the tech guy for wherever it is, to tune that motor to the horsepower band that they want.
Well,
They
you
want
think
that motor
it's
to
probably
run.
it's probably like an MSD chip. You know, it can only rev to
Yeah,
this, but
and,
now okay,
and
the
exactly
tune
what
can only go
Harmon's
to
saying.
this.
That's exactly what it is because the tech can lock it straight from that MSD.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I
Yes,
agree.
George, I know how you feel.
Oh, that's really good. What was your favorite thing you saw at PRI?
I really got a kick. I still don't know exactly where they're going to use it, but I really like that new body from 5-Star.
Which one?
Which
That-
one?
I don't know if it was a mini stock or a street stock.
Oh,
that
the one that
Camaro.
was the one that
That was
was
a dirt
set up there?
body.
It was a dirt body.
Yeah.
That thing was nice. I would love to see that on asphalt.
How would Harmon say that?
What?
Nice.
Nice.
I was just curious.
But honestly, other than that, I think that CT525, I had never heard of that.
No,
I
me
think
neither.
that
I
info
thought-
on that was cool.
I thought that was cool because we thought it was for like big blocks and stuff. So as soon as the 604 thing got done, we're like, okay, we're out of here.
Oh my God, the show! I've never seen him type
oh my
in
God!
non-caps.
Wow,
Holy crap! Did we just break the internet?
Wow.
dude. Wow.
Why
I
are you
feel
why,
honored.
why are you whispering?
I know.
I can't hear you, Bobby.
Yeah, Bobby. I think the showstopper is going to be there. What is it, Mike?
The I Bang
the I Bang
Penguins.
Penguins
Yeah,
125. We're going to open it up at Lee. Speaking of Lee, we're going to be going to the town next week for the schedule hearing. So hopefully we'll have a nice Christmas present for all the race fans out there coming soon. A lot of big stuff.
What was your favorite thing at PRI that you saw it on the show floor?
That I saw on the show floor.
Yep.
It's hard to remember everything
Yeah,
you saw,
yeah,
isn't
I
it?
know,
That's
it's-
the problem. You see so much.
I know. It's
And you almost walk by stuff and don't realize what it is
yeah.
until you stop. Because mine is one that I almost walked by.
I guarantee you, we did not see everything
No,
at
we
that show
didn't.
by any sense.
Honestly, I went to the 5-star booth and I saw the Crown Vic noses.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah,
like,
you did
"Oh,
like that."
Thank God, because just those Crown Vics, you give them one tap in the nose, it breaks the front, plastic piece where your grill goes. I'm like, God damn it! And now it's more debris on the track, and now they sell a front bumper and a rear bumper, so I'm literally ordering like 9 of them for my car. So
The thing that I got out of it the most was that whole crate motor discussion.
Yep.
Yeah.
What's everybody thinks year to year when they change the part number of the motor, oh, I got to have a new one because it's got more horsepower.
It's literally the same.
It's literally they could change one bolt or one bracket or the whatever, and GM has to change the part number of the motor.
Yeah, and a lot of it is like, okay, they saw, like, remember the timing covers were cracking?
Yep.
All it was because the shoulder on the bolt was too long, so
Yep.
they had to put a new part number for that bolt, which the shoulder was shorter.
Right.
That's really all it was. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, so...
And the only change in the last 2 years to the 602 was the new ones now have screw-in studs.
Yeah.
That's the only difference. It's not a horsepower gain. It's nothing. So
Mine there was an onboard camera system. It's hard to describe, and I walked right by it and didn't even notice it.
Wait, what do you mean onboard camera system?
So it has 3 cameras, has a capability of 4. So there's
order it?
one. I talked to the guy. I have his card. I'm going to be talking to him this week. It is super cool.
Cha-ching.
It's $4,000. No, listen to this though. It does telemetry. It does side camera facing you, side camera out the car, out the window, out the back, out that door. So you have the entire, like, when you get in those newer trucks and you put them in gear and you can see the vehicle, you can see everything. And I think that's what they were using down at the Snowball, because they had those cameras, the onboard cameras that were super, super clear.
Yeah.
And they had multiple angles, out the window, at the driver, out the back. And these things are phenomenal. And it's
How big is it?
the box is about this big. And the cameras, my little camera that I put on board,
Yeah.
it's basically like a custom version of those. It's doable. There's a couple things that I need to figure out, and I talked to them on the show floor, but there's so many people there. They're not going to.
Do you get a card note from them?
Oh,
at
yeah.
least?
Oh, yes. I've already shot them an email. Definitely interested to see if it's something that we can make more mobile to make it work, to make more sense, but I have to make sure that I can get a certain kind of signal out of it. That's what I have to make sure. Because right now it's all cell phone. So it's a lot of the road race guys run it.
Yeah.
And they're able to just, right from that box, it automatically streams it to the internet live with their own little custom graphics on it, sponsorship stuff. And it's pretty badass.
That's cool.
The way it works.
I like that paved late model group that we went to was really cool too.
I didn't go to that one. I had to deal with
Oh yeah,
That was really cool.
Yeah.
Just because you get all the guys that are running paved late models, even some of there was guys from like the Midwest Truck Series there. Everybody that runs that group is there, and you kind of learn by the end of it.
It's
that
like a
everybody-
round table. Everybody just kind of. I'm not gonna say you just shoot the shit. There's an agenda that you kind of follow, but
You're bouncing ideas off of everybody and stuff.
and everybody
you know?
kind of is under the same thing. I mean, everywhere from ASA to Tim Ryan from Five Flags to the guys over at Madison, Wisconsin. Everybody wants to be on the same book. You know what I mean?
I mean, we had the discussion about the Pro Late models. I mean, my Granite State series, we're close, but I can tell you over the next 3 years, we're going to be a hell of a lot closer.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, chassis-wise, shock-wise, that stuff, we will be there within 2 years.
Yep.
Motor, I'm still pretty happy with our motor program, so I'm not really a fan.
What, they don't run crates?
No, they're all crates.
Oh, they are?
But on the Granite State side, we've developed, well, I didn't develop, but Rick Pay at RPM Motors developed a restrictor plate for the Fords that brings the torque and the horsepower down to where the Chevrolet motor is. While in the South, they let the Chevy motors change this, change that to compete with the Fords. So, but with that being said, everybody's getting more and more toward that stock bottle cap 604 with some weight brakes to try to get people to there. So that's where that is there. So that's those series has the same problems that my series has. I mean, what are you guys doing for testing? We've always had a 7-day testing policy. Does it work? I don't know. We put it in there when we started the program 13 years ago to try to save the team's money. Now I think we're just pissing in the wind because they can't test 7 days within an event. So instead of being able to practice the day before and cut the expense down, they're renting a racetrack someplace else and going
driving 2
someplace
hours
else, or going to that track 10 days out.
Yep.
So, and on our end, like I said there, I said on race day, we have very limited practice, and we have a lot of young guys that need the lap. So we're doing away with our testing policy this year. So, right, wrong, or indifferent, but.
All right, so now we've talked about PRI. What's a favorite thing you did in Indy itself?
Oh, God, the food.
Yeah, food.
I can't believe the cost of the food out there.
Oh my God.
I know you like your homemade gourmet hot pockets and everything else.
Yeah, so
okay.
Saturday, right?
I
Was
set
it
myself up
Saturday
for
or
this.
Friday?
It was Saturday.
The
It
last
was
Saturday.
The last day we're there, Mark hangs out in the house, does whatever he's doing, with the race day
we
stuff.
decided to go to Harry and Izzy's, which is like probably one of the best places to go to.
And Mark stays home and eats Hot Pockets.
Well, I bought them. I didn't want to let them go to
It's
waste.
50 cents.
It's Indy,
$5.
dude. The food in
With
Indy is
delivery.
like delivery. Yeah. Oh my God. The what was it? The
St. Elmo, the shrimp cocktail.
shrimp cocktail.
Spell it out.
Yeah, I know, right? Dude, I'm sorry. That shrimp cocktail is so damn good. The first time we had it, I felt like my face was like lifting off my skull. It was great.
Yeah, the first 2 of them are good, and then you start to question why the hell you're eating what you're eating.
See, for me, so I think the worst meal I had the whole time was Prime 47. I think that one didn't sit well in my stomach, and I know it didn't sit well in Ben's stomach either. Because
No, that was fine.
that's the one that I took off running to the bathroom. And you later said as well. Also, Ben is now on my team with not wanting to go to PF Chang's anymore.
Oh yeah, no. That's when I went to PF Chang's. That's when I felt like shit because I think I felt fine at Prime
We'll go to
47.
PF Chang's.
I decided to get the skillet
Ben's gonna eat Hot
skillet
Pockets.
cookie, which was about that big around. I didn't
How big?
realize it was like that big around.
It was.
Yeah.
It was
full
huge.
Of, full of ice cream and chocolate
It
syrup.
had
and
one
everything.
scoop of ice cream.
monster-sized scoop.
No, one little mini scoop of ice cream.
Small pint of ice cream. on top
His
of
mini
it.
scoop is different than my mini
Oh,
scoop.
what's this? I
That's-
can't remember what the name of my favorite ice cream is called. I gotta look because I posted.
Spumoni.
There we go.
Spumoni.
Spumoni, that was good.
Best
it's
place
a,
in town is the old Spaghetti Factory.
No
And
way. It's
Yes.
good, but it's
I
not the
had-
best
Good,
place in
but
town.
I
It's
had
Olive Garden.
the best waiter of the entire
What's
trip.
the place we went to last year when my race pass took us there?
Hyde Park Steakhouse.
Hyde Park.
That place was wicked good. Expensive as hell, but really good.
Well,
How was our dinner with my race pass this year?
Yeah, they decided not to have it because I'm a douche.
I walked by the
They
booth.
fly out like, yeah, we're not taking you to dinner. I'm like, what? Come on.
I walked by the booth and I was like, "Hey, when we going out?" He's like, "Hey, when's your boss pay?" And I was like, "We're not going out."
In my defense, though,
You did offer to pay.
Offer to pay, and he's like, no. I go, dude, what I'm ordering is a ripoff. Let me pay for it. I always feel better.
Yeah, but you ordered it again this time.
I did,
Yeah, twice.
and I paid for
Yeah,
it.
you did.
I paid for it.
My favorite part about that, Ben's cutting into it. He's like, "This is not Japanese Wagyu."
It wasn't. I'm sorry, but what they gave me was a regular fillet, and I'm like, dude, this isn't it. I can tell. It tastes totally different, and I'm like, great. I just paid $200 for something that's a regular $50 steak.
I don't think there's such thing as a $50 steak in Indy.
No.
No, my salad was $46.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
You are so full of shit.
No, it
And the
was.
worst part is he had one bite and threw
No,
it
no,
out.
no, that
He's
was the
like,
one
"Ew,
that I-
greens."
That's the one that I wouldn't eat. But the next day when I had the wedge one that you had, that thing was phenomenal. That was at.
It wasn't $46.
It was pretty damn
It
close.
was
like
like $15.
$14.
Yeah.
No, it was not.
Yes, it
no, it
was.
was.
Mark, you're dyslexic. You're getting them.
I'm
You
Yeah,
got
I'm
you
looking
got the
them up.
numbers confused.
Oh my God.
But Indy was fun. I'm not getting shit on as much as I thought it was going to, so this is even better. I went in, so I was on a panel there this weekend as well, and John had been getting me going with Mike, saying that they were printing out little piece, basically poster size of my head, and they were going to harass me, and they didn't.
No,
No,
I know. I
no.
drank water.
Hang on.
Oh, thank you.
Williams, here we go, brings up a great point. Mark and Ben here. No.
Wait, I don't know where this is
awesome.
going.
I drank water. I drank water
Not the
in White
point.
Russians.
Not the
Not
point.
the point.
Not the point. I
at
know where he's
all.
going.
Not
I don't know where this is
at all.
going.
I do.
I don't. Go ahead.
These two, they argue back and forth about, oh, I don't drink diet soda. I don't do no diet soda. Mark's sitting there about, no, I don't drink soda. He had like 8 lemonades. Okay, it's got to be 700 grams of sugar.
They're not soda.
It's still sugar.
Okay, how about this? Those waters that you had? That's
sparkling water?
That's diet soda.
It's aspartame.
It's aspartame. It's the same thing.
Says it's healthy.
It says lime on it. It's like
What are
fruity.
you throwing me under the bus for?
Because you do the same thing.
I was drinking water most of the time.
All right, because I ordered a box of Christmas tree cakes. Ben comes in and starts singing the Diabetes song and laughing at me, and I was like, "Do you want one?" He's like, "I sure do." And then opens the box and starts taking them. Mike,
I took one. Of course I did.
Mike empties the box out, takes a picture, and sends it to somebody. He's like, "Look, Fatty ate all the cakes."
So Mark bought 3 bowls of fruity pebbles for
Says
breakfast.
fruit.
I brought 2 of them home.
Oh, did you?
Yes, I did. I
That's it,
packed those
because
things.
3 of them were gone.
Yeah.
And I didn't have any. I know John didn't have any.
We
so
get home one night, and I look, and Mark's got his luggage on the floor, and it's half unzipped. I go, "What's in your bag?" And he's like, "Nothing, nothing." And Ben rips it open. There's fucking Chex Mix and the little Debbie boxes. And
So I'm in where we had just landed in Baltimore, and I'm sitting next to Ben, and I remembered I had that bag of Chex Mix in my check bag, and I pull it out, and I showed Ben. I'm like, "Look, like because it vacuum sealed itself," and I open it, and it goes, poof, all over the floor. Ben didn't see it, and I'm just sitting there now, like not calling attention to the fact that I just had an entire thing of Chex Mix cover the entire
I
floor.
walk up and I'm coming to the bathroom. I go, and I look and I see there's just Chex Mix all over the floor. I go, "Dude, what the hell happened?" He goes, "What are you talking about?"
Wasn't
I'm like,
me.
I'm like,
I don't know.
"Seriously?" I'm like, "Okay, we're gonna play this that way. All right, fine."
That bag rapid accelerated right back up to full size and went flying out of everywhere.
Jesus.
I do have to give Ben credit though, because we were coming into Baltimore and it was
It was rough.
pretty rough coming in, and we were sitting up front because we had to at that point we had to get out of Terminal B and over to A, but it ended up changing when we get off. And as we're coming down in, we start hearing from the cockpit. Meep, 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 meep. Ben looks at me. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna die."
I don't enjoy flying.
I do the most supportive thing that I ever do to Ben, and I take my phone and I go, "Poop," pop the picture of him again.
Yeah, I don't really like flying.
I love flying.
Yeah, Mark and Ben left an hour after us, and Mark left the Manchester airport a half an hour after we did.
I was pretty upset about that.
Well,
Book your flights better.
Book your flights better.
I was on 293 by the time you guys got your bags. I was gone.
Yeah, Mark was
You
still
didn't check
waiting
the
at
bag.
claim.
You didn't check one, right?
No, yeah, you
Walked
got off the
out,
plane and left.
Out the way.
We're coming down the front, and Ben, I'm like, "All right, just got to go down to check bags." Ben like throws the 2 middle fingers and says, "I'm heading to the freaking."
I would have done the
garage."
same thing, dude.
I wanted to see my
I
son,
sat at the
okay?
terminal. I sat at the baggage claim like this for 22 minutes waiting for my bag to come around.
Hey, at least you got it.
What happened in
True.
the meantime while you were waiting? Did you see any friends?
I did. I apparently saw you guys, and then you left,
Yeah.
Yeah,
which is awesome.
because we got
You guys
Me-
left an hour after us.
Me and Mike are leaving with our luggage. We're like, hope they didn't lose your stuff, Mark.
Oh, how was the Wagyu? Cheddar wants to know.
Horrible. It was horrible. I was very
What
disappointed.
Wagyu?
I know it wasn't the way. It wasn't.
Just New York strip that they charge as it.
Next year, instead of the Derby,
We're gonna go to Gateway.
we're gonna go to Gateway.
If I
We're
can,
gonna go to the Dome.
if I can do it, I'll definitely go. But the twins will be born, and my house is going to be a total cluster F. It's
Chaos.
gonna be chaos. So I'm maybe, but I'm not really.
All right, so we'll book it. 3.
Yeah, we'll
for
just
3,
book it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ben, we need your credit card. No.
Yeah.
God.
Coolest thing I did though, I touched a shark. I went to the zoo. I had an off day on Monday.
I touched a
I
shark.
touched the shark. I touched the stingray. It was super cool.
You didn't get Steve Irwin?
I actually said that. I was like, isn't this the thing that killed Steve Irwin? This is the exact thing that I said. Decided it'd be a good idea to scooter over there because when you're in Google Maps, it looks like it's right there on the other side. And it was
Bob,
not.
I'm waiting for you to pop out another kid so you can be
Good
on
luck
the
with 3, Ben.
you can be in the 3 club.
I'll give him time. So I end up scootering over there, and then I go to get off the scooter, and apparently now there's zones that you can't park them. So you have to get them to off that zone so you can take the picture and shut them down and send them back in. By the way, scooter's not a good deal anymore. I was paying $3 a lift ride, and it was like $9 for the scooter ride for the same exact distance.
Mark. It's the experience of scooters.
I had to drive down early in the morning on, I think it was Tuesday, down to the convention center, and then I turned around and came back. And that's when I almost got run over because somebody came out of an alleyway that they're not supposed to be in and almost ran me over. And then I decided scooters were done for the weekend. That was not the experience. I walked there after that.
All right, so Mark touched a shark and rode a scooter. Mike, we went and saw some racetracks that were closed while we were in Florida.
Oh yeah,
didn't
we did do that. Yeah.
Where'd you
Yeah,
go?
we took a ride up to Mobile. We were just killing. Oh, look, we could tell the Dave Thomas story.
Oh, this is funny.
Yeah, so we had Monday free just in case they had rained and ran the Derby on Monday. Mike wanted to go to Alabama and look at this bar, the Floribama bar.
Floribama.
So the whole stick of the bar is half of it. The state line crosses halfway through the bar. In Florida, they stop serving at 2.
Yeah.
Everybody migrates to the other side in Alabama. They serve till 4
4.
a.m. So Mike wanted to go check it out. It's 11 o'clock, 11:30 in the morning on a Monday. We get there. We're just looking around. There's maybe 8 people in the bar, including us and the workers. We're walking out, and some lady just goes, yeah, something New Hampshire.
New Hampshire. I just stopped.
And Mike stopped, and he goes back, and he goes, oh. He goes, you said New Hampshire. He goes, I run the racetrack in Claremont. And the lady she's talking to goes, oh. She goes, yeah, I'm from Epping. My dad used to race at Star. And he goes, who's your dad or your boyfriend's dad? And she goes, Dave Thomas. He goes, John, you know Dave Thomas. And right over his shoulder, DT walks into the bar, 11:30 on a Monday on the Floribama shore, and you run into someone you just saw 2 days before you left.
Which is weird because your last trip you ran into people that do Dickie.
Yep.
Yeah.
What the?
Yeah.
Small world.
It is a small world.
Yeah. And then we went up to
Southern Raceway.
we
which
went
is
to the racetrack in Mobile and went.
Mobile. Yeah.
Checked the dirt track out and just killing an afternoon.
We were gonna hop the fence at Mobile, but they were doing a kind of like what New Hampshire does with the lights.
Oh,
So,
gotcha.
we couldn't do that. And then we went over to Southern Raceway in Milton, Florida. That's the home track to the Hunt the Front guys.
Oh,
Yes.
And check that place
That was
out.
we were walking around the racetrack, and I said, "God damn! If somebody gets high out of turn 4, they're gonna die." Somebody in the grandstands. I mean, because the top of the wall is only top of the
if
track
that.
to the top of the wall is like that.
Right off turn 4.
And then John said, "Well, somebody did." And I said, "What?" And I looked up, and somebody,
Yeah.
a
Somebody-
spectator didn't get killed, but I guess the guy in the
that's
track
nuts.
was closed for a couple months, and
Yeah, it's been shut down for 3 months.
yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Shit.
Well, it was a fun week. That's all that I got. You guys got anything else?
Yeah,
No,
rules. Questions on rules. Everybody's asking. The outlaw stuff should be up tomorrow or the next day. There's no changes.
There's no changes to any of the divisions.
We're gonna go to the 970 Hoosier and the Outlaws. We're gonna clean up the Super Street rules. If there's any changes, they're minute stuff, but it's basically right where we've been in all divisions.
Yeah.
I mean,
we haven't changed anything. We weren't planning on changing anything. The only thing with some of the division, we were just going to clean up the wording because sometimes it contradicts each other.
Yeah, and like the rear end rule in the super streets, it says no ultra lightweight stuff.
Yeah.
We're going to clarify that and explain exactly what we mean by ultra weight and just stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, since we have a couple minutes, we'll go into some stuff for Lee next year.
Sure.
The pro stocks are going to be moving over tires. I think we've already established that, right? So they'll be, because with the discontinuing of the 30-35s and 30-45s, it put us in a spot where we had no other option but to change compounds. So they'll be moving over to the, Mike knows the exact numbers. What are they? The American Racer?
Yeah, it's a Granite State tire.
Yeah, the Granite State tire.
The EC83 and EC84.
With that being said, I think we're also going to start to move forward and try to get our pro stock program closer in line, if not right in line with the Granite State program.
The more everybody's the same, the better off everybody is.
Yeah, 100%. And it's not like anything that we would do would make guys change a lot anyways.
No, I mean, you were 98% there anyways.
Yeah. So with that also being said, a lot of people have asked, the Granite State tire will be with us. Granite State's running 3 times. Those will be point races for the racetrack.
Yeah, so what we'll do on our end, the Granite State guys, if they don't have a NASCAR license,
Get a temp.
they'll have to purchase a temp that night. So that helps the Speedway with the number of NASCAR dates. How many dates do you got total?
Total is.
Well, we don't know yet.
Yeah,
Tentatively.
we'll have to go
Tentative.
once next week comes
Yeah.
out. We'll figure it out.
because NASCAR takes the best 14, so that will definitely help you. Maybe not get to 14, but definitely get to some more events for sure.
What else was there for Lee next year? Talked to John Burke with Smack today. Got them a date scheduled up.
Tentatively.
Yeah. I mean,
we got them at Hudson and
Hudson,
and Claremont.
Hudson,
And
Claremont, so
Yeah.
all 3
And
tracks.
Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah, what else? I think we have kind of beat it around the bush, and we're going to be posting this up pretty shortly, but that the Crown Vic Cruisers are going to be a full-time class at Lee next year.
We'll probably run them a couple times at
Hudson as well.
Hudson
I think
and
I got 'em-
Claremont sometimes.
I think I got them 3 times on the Claremont. Maybe the opening weekend, Fall Challenge weekend, and
Those
then
are fun to watch.
Then the Turkey Day,
Yeah.
the Turkey Day race. I think it was basically the same. I think we did the same thing with the Hippos.
Yep.
Where those three dates.
Hippos at Lee. I want to do it. I'd love to do it.
We just got to figure out. Well, we got to figure out what day will work. Because
Yeah,
the problem is that
I got a date.
all right, if you got a day, I don't care. Bird
So
cars.
with that's super modified.
Oh, all right.
The only thing that I think you need to look at if you're going to run the Hippos at Lee
is
the speed
Yeah.
and the safety
that's
in those
what
things.
we've kind of been talking
yeah,
about
the-
because they only have a
They
rollover
only have
bar.
roll bar in them.
And
But,
you're
but
going
a lot of them
fast.
do. Some of them do have full cages in them. Just
And then look at the seats that they have in the That's the only thing.
believe it or not, they're more of the Claremont would probably be the biggest one you'd want to go to because you got to slow down so much.
Lee would be a little.
Lee would be a little iffy.
Yeah, you'd have to really look at that, make sure the guys are safe because they're going to be
that comes
fast.
first, absolutely. So Crown Vics are coming in. Pure stocks have been a struggle at Lee for a long time. We did have a couple shows last year where we had 10 to 12 cars. That was only 1 or 2 nights a year, and that was on dates where a lot of the outside, like Beach Ridge night, a lot of the main guys came down. We are going to not can the 4-cylinder pure stocks entirely,
Cut back on
but
their
we're
schedule.
really going to cut them back. They're going to run Oktoberfest. They'll run Beach Ridge night under the Beetle Bugs, and maybe 1 or 2 more times at most. And they'll be kind of replaced with the Crown Vics.
It's kind of like the same thing we're doing with the schedule at Claremont, where sometimes you got to throw shit against the wall and see what sticks and find the right balance. We'll race and we're not even going to race the modifieds weekly. The three divisions that will race weekly at Claremont are the Super Streets, the Ridge Runners, and the Pure Stocks. They will race basically every weekend, and all the other divisions that race, the Outlaws, the Tour Type late models, and the mods will be bounced around where they all have probably 10 or 12 races, something to that effect. Just throwing shit against the wall and see what's the sweet spot. What's the sweet spot where those guys can afford to race and will make it work.
Yeah, and I mean, and another thing that goes into the decision was, I don't know how Claremont works, but at Lee we have a decibel reader put in the woods every single event, and it spiked a few times this year, and it was always the 4-cylinders.
That was the same thing the guy said. We were talking about that at one of the seminars. They were talking about the decibel readings, and everybody else, 2 or 3 of the guys said, it's not the big cars, it's the it's the 4-cylinder stuff that gets really, really loud.
So just trying to work, especially with Lee, trying to make sure that the neighbors are as happy as we can possibly make them, while making sure that we can run the race program that we need to do.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people asking about next year on, mentioning Saturdays and Sundays. Lee's a Friday night racetrack. And it has been for a long time. And we did go a little off schedule, trying some new stuff the last couple of years. And I think the inconsistency of the Friday night thing kind of jumbled up people's minds. So we are going to be a Friday night racetrack again. We'll have 2 weekend shows, maybe 1 weekend date to start the season, hopefully, if the town lets us. But I know last year when we went to the town meeting, a lot of even the town members wanted to know that it's going to be a Friday night whenever we run, so they can schedule whatever they need to schedule on the weekend. And like you said, just kind of throwing shit against the wall and hoping it sticks. We didn't really want to do that last year, but I think me and Ben saw the support grow and from the pit area and the grandstands themselves, and I think we feel a lot more comfortable going on a Friday night program.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it before. Is with the really reduced schedule you ran a couple years ago. You know, back when you were racing and when I was racing streeters and stuff like that, all right, if you had to change a pumpkin to go race the next day, you just crawled underneath the car and changed the pumpkin. Guys don't do that anymore.
No.
And to race at Lee, even with the 4-cylinder stuff, they got to change the transmission. They got to do this. I feel you have to race enough where a guy will build a car to race at Lee.
Yep.
You know, that's... You know, the bigger classes, it's a little easier because you just got a quick change. You can just, 10 minutes, you just pop the spur gears on and off and you can go. But when you're running the 9-inch, and which really is, it's not that big of a deal. But for whatever reason, guys, nobody works as hard. I'm not going to say nobody works as hard as what we used to back in the day. It's different. It's just different.
It's different now.
No, it's just, it goes back to kind of like what you were saying is you get those weeks of, I think that's what Lee kind of was for a little while is it was that track where people would just kind of go out when they had the off week. They had their main core of supporters, but then it was mainly filled with people coming from outside and trying it out for the first time or just going outside of their own track. And it's nice to see people calling Lee their home track, posting it online, and building cars again to come run Lee. I think that's something good for the sport, something good for the local sport in general.
Absolutely.
It's just good to see for racing.
What's going on at Hudson? How you coming?
Going good. I think we're dialing back in a good way.
Going back to Hudson.
We're going back to when I first started racing.
The family
Hudson.
fun track.
It
We're
was
putting
the
the fun
family
back
fun
in
track.
Basically, streeters will be
Streeters will be
the top division.
The top division, and then pretty much all the regular divisions down. Modifieds will not be returning because
it didn't work.
We tried. It didn't work.
How many years? 2 years? 3 years?
Oh, more than that.
Yeah, it was like 4.
It was like 4.
Yeah, and
so I'm sorry if it is what it is.
You can only try so
We can only try so much, and but we are bringing back the kids division, Thunder Lights.
Yeah.
Pretty much, it's the same rules as a pure stock, just a couple little things, just for learning wise.
Are those restricted?
Those will not be restricted. Those are pretty much, they're pretty much. So what I decided to do is if you wanted to get into a car and you've never done it, you go to the Heroes. You're restricted until we feel that you are capable of doing it, and then you can bump up.
Are you gonna run your Heroes on race day this year, or are you gonna still continue to do what you've done in the past?
We're probably gonna run them on Thursdays, like we always do. It's a school. You teach you how to do this and that, and then once we figure, because believe it or not, once you get the hang of it, really easy. You unrestrict yourself, and then you get out there and you go good.
Yeah,
I think the Heroes will be a great. Exactly what it is a school.
It's a school
to teach these kids before they get into a race car, and then you let them out.
So
Dwarf Car Series rules are posted. I can read. Do you like that? Dwarf Car Series rules are on the website. On the website.
www.dwarfcarseries.com.
That's the one.
That's the one.
That's the one. Yeah, I can't. I'm trying to think of anything else for Lee or Hudson next year. I mean, Hudson. Like I said to Ben, I mean, what we used to have at Hudson was at the end of the night, because sometimes you go to a track, it could have 100 cars there per division, and the racing just kind of boring. You know what I mean? At the end of the night at Hudson, you used to have the 4-cylinder enduro and the spectators, and people would come just for that. You know what I mean? So we're gonna have.
Well, also bear in mind they used to run the spectators halfway through, right when the heats were done. It'd be spectator racing or the 101 drag.
They would do halfway through.
That.
What?
I think you started that.
No. Well, man, Weber used to do it. It used to be because I remember it was 101 drags right after the heats. They'd do whatever, and then it would be the racing and the specky and the.
Oh, I always remembered it at the end of the night. They used to run because they used to call it the Redneck Olympics, and they'd run all 3 of them.
I can't.
I never went to Hudson.
Trust the historian.
Bob Williams would know. Bob, do you remember when they ran the 101 drags? Was in the for some reason
At Claremont, when we do the one-on-one drags, we do in the middle of the program. When we do a spectator race,
because I remember when I used to do it. I don't know. I don't know. I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong.
Banquets. Not to change the subject, but
So I was trying
Deadline's
to look
coming.
up.
Yeah.
Deadline's
29th, guys.
yeah.
That's for Hudson and Lee in the Dwarf Car Series. Most of the Dwarf Car drivers already have theirs sent in already. You still, I think there's 3 left that haven't out of the top 10.
The Claremont Banquet, guys, you can purchase your tickets online through the website, or else we've posted a form multiple times. You can print it off and mail it in and send a check. I think the deadline is January, I don't know, 9th, 8th, something like that. It's posted on the form and on the Facebook page. You must be present, I think, at all the banquets to be eligible for postseason awards and point fund monies, for correct? I know Claremont's that way.
What? Wait, what?
Yes.
You must be present at the banquet for
gotta be there
postseason
to get
awards
all
and
three. I'm
trophies.
like, what?
No. So, guys, if you have point fund money or trophies coming, the only way you're going to get those is if you come to the banquet.
Yeah, and you gotta let us know ahead of time.
Yeah, we have to have a count in for the food and the hotels and all that stuff. So we put a cutoff date, and after that date, so sorry.
Yep.
That's.
I remember the spectator races at the end of the night. Bob said it depended on the size of the crowd when the one-on-ones would go out.
I can't remember.
That sounds right. Being Big Bob,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
sounds right. Sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
All right, that does it for us.
That's all I got.
Off next week because it's Christmas. So
Merry Christmas, everybody. Have a happy Christmas.
Happy New
Probably
Year.
after the New Year before we get back here, I would assume.
yeah.
Yeah, speaking
absolutely.
of Christmas, before we go, we should all thank my girlfriend for
Yes.
letting me be here tonight.
Yes. Thank you.
We're going to move the show because Lori actually shot a message in there. It's like, it's not Thursday because she was going to come here today to drop off the banquet form for Skeeter. And I was like, yeah, we moved it to Thursday because John wasn't able to come tonight.
Yeah,
and then we swapped back to the last minute. So
I was supposed to be attending my girlfriend's work party, and she's the best. I told Ben we got to get her a freaking award or something because
we will.
anytime I got to go off and do something for racing, she's there. So I just want to appreciate that.
Does she know the reason that we're going to the Dome next year is because
Because of Ben.
it's because of Ben? Because like down the road we might
Get a dirt
possibly
track.
you never know what's going
right.
to happen, and so we need to start learning about that
That's
stuff.
right. Who's
so.
going to freaking pack dirt? We got to go down there and learn
Who's going
that.
to run the grader and run the water truck? We got to figure that stuff all out.
All right,
so.
on that note,
all right, guys, we're out of here. We'll see you next week.
See ya.
Oh, see you 2 weeks.